I am Paul Cardall. I am a professional musician. I have spent the last 20 years composing piano pieces and making a living from, I guess the best way to say it is expressing things that I've observed in life and how I feel about life through music. I guess like most kids, you take piano lessons, especially in our culture. Everybody takes piano lessons, and the question is, do you last? And I could not handle practicing. I just didn't like it. I wanted to go out and play before the sun went down. And so I took piano lessons for about 6 months, frustrated my teacher. She was frustrating me, and I was frustrating her. And my mom, because there's 8 kids and that's a lot to take care of, said, fine, if you don't want to take piano lessons, then you're done. Sadly, though, when I was 17 years old, one of my friends who was very good at playing the piano, he passed away. There was a car accident that took his life, and it just really devastated me. One of the main reasons it devastated me so personally was because I lived my whole life with a defective heart. I was born with congenital heart disease, which is the #1 birth defect, #1 cause of infant-related deaths. And fortunately, I had survived with a surgery as a baby. But I grew up wondering, and doctors always saying, we don't have much as far as your future, surgeries or anything, but every year I lived, they treated symptoms, and when I was 13, I had surgery. When I was 14, I had surgery. And so I always expected I wouldn't live very long. And then out of nowhere, this perfectly healthy human being, one of my very close friends, one minute he's here, and I was talking to him, and the next minute he's gone. And I'm at his funeral, and it was extremely sobering for me, because I'm asking kind of all these questions because I do believe in God. I'm trying to understand why I'm still here, you know. And one of my fundamental beliefs is that there is life after death. And I do believe that God calls us home. And some of us go way too early, you know, and we don't always understand those things. But for me, I was trying to comprehend all this. And I went into my parents' living room, and I sat down at the piano, and it was wild because I just played a couple notes, and they were really simple. It was like, I hit like that little phrasing, and it seemed like I'd heard it before, and yes, maybe I'd probably heard it in a song, but at that moment, hearing that simple tone, the music, it's kind of a sad little melody, but it spoke to my heart. And slowly over time, I'd sit there at the piano, I'd try to figure out what to do with that. And even though this was sparked by the loss of my friend, what it did was it opened up this whole window to me that I could look through, and I could discover that I could play the piano. I didn't have a teacher telling me where to hold my hands or what to do, but just a simple melody. And I just start adding the chords. And that became my first song. But it wasn't until I took that particular song and had finished it that I took it to my friend's parents and I played it for them. And the spirit that was in the room and the emotions and everything involved there, that's when I truly saw something that God had given me and something that I could use as a tool to help alleviate the suffering of others, because I myself had been given peace through it. The assurance that I would see my friend again. Call it faith, call it belief, whatever, but I knew through music everything was going to be okay. And so really that kind of began my music, my piano playing, and that's really the heart, and everything I do now is where I draw all my creative, everything I create really comes from pain and experiences to offer hope and healing.